Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Wednesday, August 8th, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and can only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. Trade your charts, folks, not mine. Anyway, do that. Open that back up for our crude session. All right, crude flat has a short setup, has not triggered the long. Actually looks like it just stopped out at 24, shorts at 23. The long was too early to have taken. Unleaded actually picked up a long trade, 904.10. That gave us target 1 and target 2, 34 or 53 ticks. And we trailed out. Actually, our stop would have been the short entry at 1263 from 1236, so 27 to go along with our 53 would be 80 ticks for target 2, 61 for target 1, and one and done session. Pound Aussie is in a long trade and has a stop and reverse short, triggered unadjusted, but the stop and reverse is down at 469. So still long on that. YM bouncing through a short. That's gone too far. We're just about to get market open. So that has definitely gone too far to get in sync with. $35 tick target 1 was plenty big. Micro Russell with a short trade. Wow. Yeah, that one was a no trade. It just went too fast. Moved down too quickly to trade. Unleaded is done, so I'm going to bring up the micro NQ chart. That doesn't start till 4 minutes after market open. 8:30 Central start time. Central time is the exchange time for the market indices and for soybeans. Soybeans has a get in sync on this add-on trade. That would be a long. That's the latest trade. Long trade on micro NQ. Micro And that sets up on the 8th bar, 288, money management and break-even stop. So that's just a 2-tick win for trade number 1 on the YM. Micro NQ trade still is too early, and that has hit money management, so that trade is off the table, no longer getting sync. So, yeah, it just went to target 2. All right, we've got a short trade set up on the micro Russell. Didn't trigger. It's still valid, but up close here on this bar would give us a long trade. Another little pop long on the YM probably was avoidable. Would have been a not full stop otherwise. And the micro Russell trade did cancel. Now we have a short on the micro Russell. And that trade is small. Target 1 only 9 ticks or so. That's just a guess from the fact that it's showing gray, which means it's less than 10. Yep, it's 9 ticks, so we got to move down 5. $24.5. And we hit the entry and the stop. That looked like it was most likely too fast to do anything with. All right, there is a long trade on the YM. Definitely time to get in this one. $27 tick target 1 is plenty big enough. YM hitting money management and target 1, so that's going to be a PQ trade. 27 ticks on target, and our stop has come up to, it's like 217 probably. And now 224. Micro NQ stops out of the long trade. And we stop out of the YM trade. Not going to take the short. YM is done. So unleaded and the YM are done this morning. No trades yet on the micro Russell. And we are in our trade window now on the micro NQ. Soybeans triggering into the long. And micro NQ was short, going to target 1 already. And that short on the micro NQ was too fast. We would not have had a chance to execute that. It was well on its way down to target 1 in 7 seconds. Yeah, 9 seconds to there. I don't see any wicks at all. So that one is a no trade. Not executable. Pound Aussie still long. Calculator tracking the short, but stop and reverse adjust is keeping us in the long. Long setup on the micro Russell. $1.2, so that's got to move up 2 ticks. 22.30. No trigger, and we're about to get a short setup. Get a short setup on this bar if it closes down. Looks like the entry would be 24.8. Nope. There we go. All right, in it at 24.4. Should have had time to get into that. Definitely in it now. Pulling back through the entry on the going out on the upside. Through to the long trade. That did trigger in. Small trade, so we'll go to targets 2 and 3. Micro Russell taking heat. And stopping out. Hitting this, just touching the stop. 26.6. Long trade on the micro NQ. I'm just kind of hanging out at the entry, so it should be in that. I have one loss on micro Russell. In the first trade on the micro NQ. Long there. Long on the pound Aussie. They stop and reverse pending. Long on soybeans. And long on crude. Micro Russell is flat. Micro NQ just missing money management. One more, there it is. Money management on the micro NQ. 180 flat and continuing to push up. Target 2 and trailing now. This is a win on micro NQ. Go up to target 3 and we've hit that. So win targets 2 and 3 for first trade. Final goal is target 4. And now a long trade on micro Russell. That just pushed up to the entry. Probably is a get in sync at this point. 28.5 for money management. And a stop out. I will take that as a second loss. All right, micro NQ stops out and transitions into a short of it zone. Short trade setup for micro Russell. At the session low, I'd pull that down at least a tick, probably two. I'd say 22.7. Needs to move down 5 with our adjusted entry. Full loss on the micro NQ, transitioning back to a long. Crude still long. Soybeans long, and the pound Aussie is long, along with the micro NQ. Short did trigger in on the micro Russell. So we have a win and a loss, and at least a break even on this third trade. That's a third stop out on the micro Russell, so that ends that session. Crude taking heat in the long. Stop at 22. Looks like we got down to 23. And micro NQ stopping out at break even. Sets up a short trade. Should be in that. Money management on the short trade on the micro NQ. Trade number 4, going to be at least a break even. Volume and the micro Russell setting session lows. Micro NQ just off session highs. Divergence in the markets as usual. I mean, it's not as usual, but not at all unusual anyway. Crude got down to 23 again. Target on the micro NQ, win number 2 on trade number 4. Gold moves down to target 3 now. Soybeans, trend mode, keeping us out of the short. Trend indicator is up. And we're in a long, okay, the system's in a long trade. We're actually in a long trade also, but a different trade. All right, stopping out on the micro NQ just below, just above target 1. There is now a short. And we're in, or short, not a short, long. Now we're in the long trade. In the long trade, now it's, yeah, we're done on the micro Russells. It's got a long trade, not participating in it. Crude back up to its entry 36. Money management, trade number 5 on the micro NQ. There's another long trade set up on the pound Aussie. If that triggers in, it will cancel the short. But we're still in the prior long trade because of the stop and reverse adjustment. Target 2, so that's win number 3 on the micro NQ. Trailing at 222 1/4. And setting a new session high. Now looking for target 3 there. Very close to it. Oh, pulling back, stopping out. 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 break even. 1 more trade. Crude coming back down to test the 25-cent level again. It's gotten down to 23 twice. There's 24. Stop holding at 22. Okay, soybeans now with a valid short. This will be a stop and reverse at 90 3/4. That's it right there. Almost a full stop out. And trade number 6 on the micro NQ. While I was watching that, gave us a short that went break even. And that ends the session, the micro NQ. 3 wins, a loss, 2 break evens. Definitely a positive session. Wow. Something's happening. Some kind of news is driving the market having crude up. That's, I guess something happened in the Middle East. That definitely roiled the crude market. Long definitely too fast to have dealt with. All right, pound Aussie did hit the entry, and so we are back to our original long trade with no stop and reverse. Money manages up here at target 3 for the new trade. Yeah, we took a stop out on the initial long. We did have time to get into that short. I was trying to look at too many charts there. Soybeans is still in the long trade. Should have been time to get into short there, which would have gone target 1 and target 2. 10 and 16, 26. What was our loss on this one? Loss of 28. So we're down 2. Although I don't know if we'd had time to move our targets. Yeah, it goes down in 4 seconds. It comes up in 7. So that one would have been tough. Don't know if we'd have been able to get out of that one positive or not. That long is definitely too fast. Didn't trigger the short this long. That one's too fast. The short, yeah, we'd definitely be in the short. Actually, we would have gotten a break even. Now, yeah, we're done with the session. Take a full loss, a partial hit. Don't know what would have happened. We probably could have gotten into the short, but I don't know that we could have gotten our targets in place in time. And trade 3 would have been a break even. So just about a break even session on crude this morning. So we have about 15 minutes. And keep an eye on soybeans and pound Aussie. Stop and reverse adjustment on the pound Aussie doing its job, keeping us in the long trade. Back to the pound Aussie entry. Soybeans got within a tick of reversing. It has triggered the trade unadjusted, so it will remain valid. Crude pushing down hard now. This kind of movement makes me think the inventory report is not going to be doing much. Almost a full dollar move in the last 10 minutes on crude. Stop and reverse adjustment working to perfection so far on the pound Aussie, keeping us out of the short trade. That stopped out, that would have been a full stop out, or actually would have been another stop and reverse. We stay in the original long trade. No losses and no trade cost yet. Additional trade costs. I'll close this stream down in about 10 minutes. Prep for the inventory report and bring that stream online in about 20 minutes. Soybeans, it's the stop and reverse on the nose. So we are now short on soybeans. Very little action on soybeans. I'm going to move the stop up about 2 ticks because of the session high. So instead of 95 flat, I'll be at 95.5. Okay, 94 3/4 to 90 3/4. 16 tick loss, 16 tick risk, 16-point loss. Crude continuing down. $1.70 move. No, I'm sorry, $1.30. Other than crude, YM is pushing up pretty hard. Pound Aussie and soybeans are not moving much. Soybean just 27 bars since the session opened yesterday evening. $88.5 to 95, so 6.5 point range. That's pretty tight. All right, a couple more minutes. Pound Aussie seems to be attempting one more shot at getting away from the 50. Soybean still just sitting right at the stop and reverse entry. Soybean short sitting right at its entry. Pound Aussie trying to push up away from the 50. Crude coming back up now. 40-cent move back up. That's for $1.30 down. This much movement in crude before the inventory report makes me think that the inventory report is not going to be much of an event this morning, but we will see. There's a good solid close up away from the 50s. That is definitely a good sign for Pound Aussie. Interesting. Crude testing the 50 EMA and being rejected there fairly strongly, it looks like. All right. Now it's time to soybean still sitting right at its entry point. Pound Aussie sitting at 504. And what do we need for money management? 5082. So just a couple more pips. Less than 2 pips for money management. $1.2. And just 3 ticks. There's money management. Target at 510. Just 8 ticks away. 7. And soybeans moves down a couple of ticks. 6 ticks from target on Pound Aussie. A little pullback there. Now I'm going to have to close it down. I need 492 for the stop. And of course, we'll pick up the trailer as it comes up through 492. But that will do it for this session. We'll be back in about, just over about 6 minutes. Try to get back for the crude oil inventory report session. See everybody shortly.